Through the years, we have been really blessed to visit some special destinations where golf is the primary theme, but there's another story to be told. Well, that's certainly the case here today because it's not every day you visit a place that's called a Humanitarian Hotel and Resort. There's a special cause behind it. Yes, there's championship golf, but a rich history and a storyline that weaves through every aspect of your stay, of your dining, and of your play on a course called the Cardinal. Today we introduce you to St. John's Resort in Plymouth, a destination that is truly uniquely inspired.
Welcome to Michigan Golf Live Television, shining the spotlight on the best places to play, stay, and celebrate the greatest game on earth. Stay connected to Michigan Golf Live 24/7 on Facebook, X, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. And subscribe for free to our weekly For Golfers Network podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere podcasts are found.
Hello friends, and welcome into a really special edition of our show, as today we have come to Plymouth, Michigan to introduce to all of you a most unique golf resort destination with a humanitarian connection. We have come to St. John's Resort, the home of the Cardinal Championship course, the Little Cardinal where you can work on your short game, and the kind of connection to family and faith and philanthropy that you really don't often see associated with a golf destination. So in the moments ahead, we have a lot of ground to cover. We're going to get started right away. We want to get you to the Cardinal golf course, but then we're diving into the story of what the Pulte Family Foundation is doing to impact people in need both locally and around the globe. A great story here at St. John's Resort. Let's get rolling as soon as I tap in this putt for par.
So Humanitarian Hotel to us is, doing good with our business. So, the easy part is, of course, being philanthropic in our, with our profits. So we're blessed that we get to donate 100% of our profit from this resort, whether it's hotels, dining, golf, to charity. And that serves purposes, right here in our backyard and around the world. But beyond the financial component, for me, one of the most gratifying parts is that we get to put our work in action. And what I mean by that is we have a few local partners, Gesher Human Services, Living and Learning Enrichment Center, and these two organizations work with adults with special needs. I actually say they have special skills. And so we actually employ them here, and they work in, whether it's janitorial, and really just keeping this place looking beautiful. So they get to, have on-the-job training, become a member of society, feel like they belong, and to me that's the human part of humanitarian.
Well, of course, we largely tell golf stories, but in this case the connection is undeniable, and you really can't break apart the golf experience from the humanitarian side of things because it all kind of feeds in together to make a difference all around the world.
Absolutely.
What's it like to be a part of a property with that focus?
You can't put a price to that. I mean, it is, it is so gratifying knowing that, again, your efforts are going to something greater. We're, as hospitality professionals, we're fortunate that we get to do what we love, serve other people. And knowing that that now goes beyond just the transactional service of guest to associate, now we get to actually see all of that effort go to something greater.
There's the purpose, and then there's the property. This property is stunning in so many different ways, and I know that's largely because of a complete facelift that's taken place in the last couple of years. How do you describe this resort property to somebody who's never seen it before?
We call it Detroit's hidden gem. It truly is a holistic, all-encompassing resort, whether it's the high-end luxury amenities and the facility to just the activities around, whether that's, obviously golf, utilizing our, our restaurants, our fitness center, pool, we're constantly having activations, whether it's yoga in the gardens, so to me it is, as a resort, it's the holistic experience that somebody has. It's not just coming here for a night's sleep. It's not just coming here for a meeting or a wedding or a meal, but the ability to have all of that under one roof and an extremely high level of quality, both in finish, but also service, to me kind of sums up the St. John's experience.
I've never seen anything quite like it.
It would be hard to duplicate, and I guess with enough money you could rebuild something like this, but what makes St. John's truly special, once you peel down all the beauty of the facility, is the people here. Our team is truly dedicated to service, and the answer is yes, and we figure it out, and it's just, to me, that's the completion of what a great resort is.
And now, for the first time, we set foot on the Cardinal, this championship golf course at St. John's Resort. Chris Johnson's going to play the first 6 holes with me, and he's the director of instruction, which means perfection throughout these 6 holes from you, right?
Yeah, guaranteed, for sure. Yeah, not a doubt.
I want to talk strategy with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
A lot of people watching have not played the Cardinal. So right off number 1,
Yep.
I have to guess the American flag is my target.
100%. Yeah, we got a perfect aiming point here on the first hole. Love that design.
Would you describe the opening of this course as a gentle opening or a stout opening?
We're about to play it on film, so I'm worried about saying it's gentle or too easy, but I would say,
Comparatively.
it eases you into the round.
On number 1, what you see is what you get.
Yep.
Try to keep it to the left of those trees that are on the right side,
Yep,
and you
for
should
sure.
be okay.
For sure.
What are we doing on number 2?
So 2, there is a creek that you can't really see clearly off the tee, so you have to decide whether or not you're going to carry it or not. It's about a 200-yard carry, so into the wind it can be challenging. And then you have the fairway bunker up the right, so there is some risk reward there if you're going to hit driver and just get as close to the green, or find that space between the bunker and the creek where it's a much wider landing area.
It's a fair amount of elevation change on approach shots here as well. Maybe
Definitely.
catch some people by surprise.
Definitely, yeah. That shot, especially on 2, is quite a bit uphill. So, and going long is not good at that green. Not good on that green. So it's deciding how close to a back pin you want to get, for example.
All right, Chris, somehow without either of us making a putt, we're 1 under through
Yeah,
2. I
love
don't know
it.
how that goes. So we step up to number 3, and it is a beautiful hole, but not one to be taken lightly.
Yes, for sure. One of the more picturesque holes, I would say, out here, but tough shot. We said a gentle handshake to start. This is not that. Yeah.
Well, this is a reminder that choosing the proper tee box for your game can make it a whole lot more enjoyable. If you're all the way on the back tees here, it's a little over a 200-yard
For sure.
shot, and you move forward, it gets a little more friendly. Take a 3 and run here if you can get it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Turn us around though, we go in the other direction on number 4. What's the strategy there?
That is I would say, the friendliest tee ball on the course. So that's par 5. Let the big dog eat, as they say. So just get it down there as far as you can, and then depending on where you're playing from and how far you're hitting it, definitely reachable in 2.
Okay, so we have a chance to make up for what happened on number 3 if you play well on 4.
For sure.
Now, Chris, on each of the 9s, there are back-to-back par 5s,
Yep.
including number 4 and number 5. So take us to 5T and give us some of that insider knowledge, because there are some important points to know about 5.
Definitely, yeah. It looks open at first glance, but then the fairway slants quite heavily right to left with a hazard down the entire left side. So definitely favoring the right side off the tee. Aiming right, there's a fairway bunker that is a nice target for that tee shot.
Probably aim a little further right than you think you should
100%.
because
yes.
of how
Yes.
severely that kicks
Absolutely.
down. So after that, if you find your ball in the fairway, you've got a couple of decisions to make.
Yeah, the green complex, one of my favorite holes out here, just because of the hazards that sit around it. It looks great, but it's difficult. So you have to decide whether or not you're gonna go for it.
Yeah, go for it or lay up. So
Yep.
I had a 5-wood in. That worked out well. You chose to go down to the apron
Yep.
and then get up and down for birdie. And
Yep.
as always, we both once again made birdie as far
On
as
fire.
you know. So after 5, the last hole you and I are going to play together is 6, which, as you stand on the tee, looks and feels like a par 5. I mean, you go
Yes.
from kind of forgiving back-to-back 5s to a very tough 4.
Yeah, number 1 handicap hole here. Beautiful off the tee. A lot of people, when we get here for the first time, say, is this a par 5?
Where do I have to put my tee shot?
Definitely favoring the left side. hazard runs all the way up the right. So left mounds are usually a good target. Usually get a kick off those mounds if you end up there.
Well, thank you for guiding us through the first 6 holes and for not telling anybody what my real score was.
Yeah, same. My pleasure.
Now that's your first sampling of golf on the Cardinal. We've got more of that championship course straight ahead. And speaking of samplings, how about a trip inside the first of our featured restaurants? This is an authentic Irish pub called Doyle's, right next to the Pro Shop, with a menu that you would expect to find in an Irish pub, with the classics like fish and chips, shepherd's pie, or my personal favorite, the cluck of the Irish chicken sandwich. You can also find some of your favorite American fare as well if you're just in the mood for a burger or a good salad. But Doyle's is one of those cool gathering places with its own unique vibe. We'll be back with more from St. John's Resort in Plymouth once I finish the shepherd's pie. Welcome back into the show as we continue our visit to a most unique destination, St. John's Resort in Plymouth, a really special place that is uniquely inspired. It's the home of the Cardinal Championship Golf Course. It's the home of the Little Cardinal, that's the short course, and it's the home of a remarkable 2-acre, 18-hole, all-natural grass putting course that gives you an opportunity to work out whatever challenges you may be having with this part of your game. You know, this is a special destination. There's golf, there's a resort, there are wonderful restaurants, but there's more to it because the Pulte Family Foundation is committed to making an impact both locally and globally. Let's talk more about that aspect of this unique story before we head back to the Cardinal.
A Humanitarian Hotel is a 5-star experience that gives to a greater good. It's a luxury property. You come here and you spend your money, you play your golf round, and you can know that that money that you spend here goes to support educational and humanitarian initiatives, not just in Southeast Michigan, but around the world.
Here we are standing in front of a wall that kind of commemorates some of that investment, knowing that the Pulte Family Foundation is able to make a difference in all of these different corners of the globe. What does that mean to you to be engaged in that?
I just feel so honored to be a part of the foundation that has such an impact on the lives of the most marginalized people of society.
As we talk to the general public, and we're inviting people to come, and they're going to have a fun day playing golf, they're going to have a great meal, if they're staying the night, they'll have a wonderful guest experience. I don't know how often people stop to think of how this could actually serve a greater good. I know that's part of the message that you want to get out, is that it has more to it than meets the eye, right?
Yeah, so we invested in these hotel properties first and foremost as a way to generate more income for our foundation so that we could give out even more money to all of the nonprofit organizations that our foundation supports. But beyond that, we use these hotels themselves as a way to be an extension of our foundation's mission. So we support numerous soup kitchens in Metro Detroit and around the world. We also donate all of our excess banquet and restaurant food at St. John's. So since we've started doing that in 2022, we've donated over 23,000 pounds of food.
Can you give us a feel for the scope of impact of this charitable foundation?
So our foundation supports over 200 nonprofits globally, and we're present in over 40 countries. In Southeast Michigan alone, we have partnerships with close to 40 nonprofit organizations, and since 2019 we've given away or funded close to $140 million worth of grants.
And your next golf round on the Cardinal could play a role in all of that.
It will play a role in all of that.
It's time to make our way back out onto the course of the Cardinal. Now, earlier I was joined by the Director of Instruction. Now, I'm joined by the Director of Golf as the Cardinal and the staff at St. John's Resort does everything it can to help my game around this course. Plus, Nick Bex and I share the same barber. So it's good to see you.
It's great to see you.
You and I are going to play holes 7 through 12 together. We stand on number 17. We look out at this unique par 4, which has a big valley in it. So what's our strategy on 7?
Number 7, you want to play it up the left-hand side. You're able to actually find a little speed slot that gets you down to the bottom of the hill, and that allows you to have a short little wedge right up to the front of the green.
I managed to avoid the speed slot, which left me with a pretty full 8-iron into the green, but there is a chance to score there. I mean, that's the important thing for everybody to know. After you've come through a very difficult 6th hole, you can get it back on 7.
Absolutely. You've got a little uphill shot, but a little wedge in your hand will get you home nice and clean.
Much earlier in the round, we saw our first par 3. We come to number 8, which is our second one, and it sure seems like club selection needs to be a very high priority here.
It is. I mean, this hole 8 ranges anywhere from 205 all the way up to 140 yards. So prevailing into the wind, so it does play a little bit into club selection, but it's very important.
And we both learned that when the hole location is all the way at the back, everything's uphill. You've really got to get the distance right to get your ball all the way back there.
Absolutely. You know, especially on this green, you've got it 2-tiered. So you want to really be on the right side of the hole. So when the pin's in the back, you've got to take an extra club.
Okay, move us over now to number 9 and number 10. What's the challenge we're looking at, first of all, on 9?
Number 9 is a tough driving hole. Church pew bunkers on your right-hand side, a very slim landing area. If you can hit the ball far, you can clear the trap, you clear all the bunker area, and then you can get home with another little wedge. But put it into trouble, and it gets you, it'll change the score dramatically.
It's a relatively short hole on the scorecard, but it really does narrow off the tee.
Placement off the tee is priority number 1. Without that, you can be looking at bogey or double real easily.
Priority number 2, placement on the green, because that one has some challenges to it.
You need to pay attention to exactly where that pin is. If that pin's in the back, another half club more will do it right. The pin's in the front, you got to watch about spinning it back off the middle slope.
Okay, so we finish on 9. We either lick our wounds or we celebrate the things we did well, and we make the turn to head right out to 10. Take us on that first hole of the back.
10's a great opening hole for the back 9. We've got the Cardinal tree just off to your right-hand side. It has been in play on this golf course for as long as I've been told. It's been here for quite a while. But a good par 4, played up the left-hand side. You got a mid-iron back into the green, and it starts our back 9 off right.
And we see some examples on this back 9 of Raymond Hearn's designed, kind of his architectural artistry. We're going to have to shape some shots in both directions on this final 9.
11, you're going to have to go right to left. 12, you're going left to right, almost the entire hole. So you will have to play it both ways to get it home and get a good score.
Now, we have given you just a little taste of the beauty of the Cardinal. We'll go back for some more golf here in the moments ahead. But this resort is amazing. There's so much to explore here, so much history to learn, so much fun to have, including in this place right underneath the chapel. It's called the Wine Grotto. Now, back in its early days, thank you, it served a very different purpose. But now, as you look around here, you see groups having a great time. Birthday parties, just gatherings, there's conversation, there's laughter, there's live music. As you would expect, there's a rather comprehensive wine list, and the food, really quite special. For instance, the green curry and scallop ceviche with octopus and scallops. You don't find that just anywhere. How about the Wagyu meatballs, served in a very hot pot right out of the oven, and a beautiful reveal of what's under that lid. There are several flatbreads on the menu, including the mushroom and ground Wagyu beef flatbread. That's pretty special. You can never go wrong with honey Aleppo shrimp. And as you make your way a little further down the menu, you find the smoked lamb chops and the roasted chicken lollipops. And in my book, that's a pretty good kind of lollipop. So if you're looking for an ideal way to wind down your day at St. John's Resort, make your way down below and experience the coolness of the Wine Grotto. Hello, Mr. Palmer, and cheers. We're back with more from St. John's Resort after this. Welcome back into the show as we wind down our time at the beautiful St. John's Resort in Plymouth, Michigan, the home of the Cardinal Championship Course, the home of a 2-acre, 18-hole natural grass putting course, and let me introduce you officially to the Little Cardinal as Nick taps in for yet another par. The Little Cardinal is a 7-hole short course where really all you need to do is grab a wedge and a putter, and you really have a great opportunity to work on all things short game related in a very relaxed setting, a relaxed vibe. Put on a t-shirt, grab your buddies, make it a date night, maybe it's your bachelor party gathering spot, whatever the case may be. The Little Cardinal here on the property of St. John's Resort. It's a really cool way to just get out, unwind, and have some fun. Having said that, we'll wind back up. We'll head over to the Cardinal Championship course and bring you down the home stretch. From the Little Cardinal, we come back to the Big Cardinal, the championship course, to take you down the home stretch of holes 14 through 18. And here to guide us on that tour is head golf pro Justin McMahon. And you and I are starting on 14, a beautiful par 3. Not an easy par 3,
not by any
but
means.
A beautiful one.
Absolutely.
What's your strategy?
Honestly, it really depends on the wind direction when I'm out here. Most of the time it plays into, so I always tell people to club up one, but you just can't think about the water. I know it's the oldest saying in the book, but you can't think about the water when you're trying to hit a par 3 over water. So
you do club up one, even though it's a bit of a downhill shot, because that wind is almost always prevailing into you.
Absolutely, yes.
Jump us up ahead to number 15, which is a short par 4, which does not mean it's an easy par 4.
No, not by any means. So we actually rerouted 2 holes from last year, 17 and 15. So number 15 is 17 from last year. Pretty straightaway par 4, but it is protected by fairway bunkers on both sides, and the green complex can be tricky depending on how many shots it takes you to get up there. So
now 15 is not automatically driver for everybody, right?
Correct.
I mean, you're a highly skilled professional, so you'll hit driver.
Yeah, sure. Sometimes I'd recommend going with an iron off the tee. It's really how you're playing, but I definitely wouldn't frown upon leaving driver on the bag for number 15.
2 holes left, number 17 and 18. And Justin, as we stand back on the tee of 17, this is one imposing par 4.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Like I said, we went through the rerouting last year, so it's 15 from last year. Very challenging hole, all uphill. Can't see the flag from the tee box, so you're pretty much just shooting, trying to get one out in the fairway, but it's very deceiving, that tee shot. You really got to put one in there to even have a good shot going into the green.
There are some holes where a little bit to the right is okay. 17 is not one of those holes.
No, 17, if you miss to the left, you're in the trees, so you gotta hit it pretty straight off that tee.
Well, when we look for a stout challenge coming down the home stretch, 17 provides that. We go over to number 18 tee. It's a blind tee shot, so you want to aim for, I guess, the smokestack or the chimney. You can let it rip, but even a good tee shot doesn't mean you're done with the challenge of the hole.
Right, correct. I mean, we call that the tower, so I'm always aiming at the tower when we're teeing off on 18. One of our signature holes out here, obviously, very beautiful finish. But yeah, all the bit challenging, and it's no easy way to get home. It's still going to present a challenge for you on the last hole. So.
Well, they sent you out here to play with us on the most challenging set of holes on the golf course. So I don't know if you drew the short straw or the long straw, but thanks for guiding us around.
Absolutely, it was my pleasure. You guys have been great to work with, and we loved having you out here.
There is one final essential ingredient to the perfect stay at St. John's Resort, and that is fine dining in the 5 Steakhouse. And I am thrilled to be joined by the executive chef, Tricia Holt. You still get excited by this?
Oh, I love it.
This challenge, right?
Absolutely, every day.
So what is it that you want to hear from a guest after they finish and they're headed out?
I want to know that they were full, not only in their stomach, but they had such an experience that they were full in their heart. So they leave here and they're just excited to go about the rest of their night.
I told you at the very outset of the program that we would be visiting a uniquely inspired destination. And now that you've had a chance to get a brief glimpse of the excellence, the beauty, the history, the purpose of St. John's Resort, I hope you'll agree that not only is it a championship golf experience, but it's a unique humanitarian hotel that you won't find anywhere else. Thank you for being with us. We hope to see you sometime in Plymouth here at St. John's Resort.